Greetings and salutations once again, YouTube Nation. Kenny Rock Sable back again, and I just got through watching History on YouTube. It was a 16mm film of what was once perceived to have been a lost episode of the popular game show What's My Line. It was the episode from October 1st, 1950. It was their Sunday night debut, their first time as a weekly series, and it was on Sunday night at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time on October 1st, 1950, that CBS settled What's My Line into that spot. The show was a hit, even though it was at first seen every other week on Wednesdays and Thursdays. But it proved to be such a hit that it warranted a weekly spot on their schedule, and that's where they put it. For those who may have missed it, and don't worry, it will be on the What's My Line YouTube channel for a long time. Here was the panel that night. The panelists were Dorothy Kilgallen, Louis Untermeyer, Arlene Francis, and Hal Dimples Block. I don't know when they started calling him Dimples, but I know that this was probably Hal's first appearance as a What's My Line panelist, as he would become somewhat of a regular panelist until Vance Cerf came along. That was on the October 15th, 1950 show. Sorry for the mix-up in dates. But anyway, of course, John Daly was the host, and oh yes, the mystery guest that night was author Kathleen Winsor. She's the woman who is responsible for one of the greatest novels of all time. 20th Century Fox made it into a film in 1947, Forever Amber. I got a look at that 16mm print, and I must say that the YouTube skin I got from userstyles.org perfectly complemented the player, as well as what I was watching. Now, a little background on how they managed to get it. The 16mm film was an actual air check off of WCBS TV in New York City, the network's flagship station to this day. It actually went on the air in 1941, but you can read all about that on Wikipedia. Anyway, how they managed to get this was really something. Mr. Whitstein saw this on eBay and very much wanted it so he could clean it up, give it the usual remastering and retooling and like that. Well, it turns out the people, his friend Bahan Nisanian and the others, they did a wonderful job of cleaning it up, and it looked fantastic. Forgive my buckwheat look. I've been needing to go to a barber for quite some time. Anyway, they did a wonderful job. The print was smashing. Everyone looked wonderful. And the sound was very crisp. Not necessarily something you'd expect from 1950s television. You see, up until the coaxial cable linked east to west, most shows were done live on the East Coast. Then they were kinescoped to stations here in the Midwest as well as on the West Coast. Kinescope means a film print, of course. And undoubtedly, this was a pretty good enough kinescope for it to air on a station that was on the air at the time. Another CBS affiliate, say like KPIX in San Francisco, KFMB in San Diego, or KTSL in Los Angeles, which of course went on to become KNXT and later the current KCBS. Now, it was a pulp. Now, believe me, this was not exactly chump change that this cost. It was a lot of money. But here's the thing. Everyone in the What's My Line Facebook group was willing to pay Gary the money back. But Gary said they didn't need to do that. This despite a great undertaking that helped him get that thing in the first place. And there are a lot of people in the What's My Line Facebook community I'd like to mention right now. A few names you probably never heard of. There's besides Vahan, there's also Jenny Kahn and Trish Maya and Lynn Smith, Roscoe Snell, Sam Tefel, who also, by the way, helped with the remastering. Christopher Sanchez, he was another one. And then there's also Peter Quinton, V.S. Levin, a lot of great people. And as I mentioned before, the header of that 16mm film was the last few moments of the What's My Line lead-in show for that night. It was called Celebrity Time, hosted by Conrad Nagel and sponsored by the B.F. Goodrich Rubber Company. Notable that is because it featured an appearance by it is the first, if not the first, one of the first appearances by a future TV star, future To Tell the Truth panelist, the late Kitty Carlisle Hart. She passed away in 2007, I believe it was. And her appearance is what warranted the first 6 minutes of that 16mm film to be posted to Gary's other channel, which is devoted to Tell the Truth. Now, as I said on the previous video, Gary has been coming under attack from Fremantle International, which is the parent company of Fremantle Media North America. They have been attacking Gary's channels. They've done it 3 times. The most recent time was just a few days ago. The reason is because last June they started this new network called Buzzer, which is seen only in a few markets, mostly the big markets, on second sub channels. They have been rerunning shows like What's My Line, To Tell the Truth, I've Got a Secret, and other Goods and Time and Game shows that are strictly in the public domain. Some of them they don't even own. And I think it's ridiculous that they are doing this, but they can do this because that there's something on YouTube. It's a long story, but they keep coming after him, and it's really taken a lot out of him. I feel we owe him a debt of gratitude, because ever since I happened upon this channel, it has been great. A lot of episodes of What's My Line have become favorites. And I can name a few off the top of my head. There's a September 20th, 1959 episode where Groucho Marx was a guest panelist, and he broke up John Daly so bad when it came time for the mystery guest segment. The mystery guest that night was actress Claudette Colbert. Another one of my favorite episodes hails from September 29th, 1957. That was the night Bennett Cerf sat in for John Charles Daly, and Cesar Romero took his place on the panel, and there was also Ernie Kovacs. There are others. There are a few from 1956 I can name, like one in which they introduced a mystery panelist, and it turned out to be Jerry Lewis, who had recently broke up with his bosom pal Dean Martin. There are several others, but I won't get into that. I might do that on a video at another time. But I just want to say to Gary, you've got a hit on your hands, my friend. This once figured to be lost episode looks great. It is smashing. It is sure to be a favorite of a lot of YouTubers. It's going to be in my favorites too. And I wish you nothing but the best, because a lot has happened in his life. He recently moved from San Francisco to Arizona, which is the home of another great YouTube poster, Swingman 1938, as he'd say. Hello again, what's happening? And he's had issues with the health of his cat Maggie, and his life has taken quite a toll. And I've got to say, Gary, you're a better man than I ever could be. Because believe me, you deserve all the credit, all the gratitude, everything you have, we helped make you. And I just want to say, I wish you nothing but continued success on both your What's My Line and To Tell the Truth channels, and to let you know that another YouTube channel, Buzzer Plus, has an episode that I know you will be posting later on, within the next month or so. And I'm advancing a request on it right now. It is the December 16th, 1961 episode of To Tell the Truth. It is their 5th anniversary show, and the first challenger is also the first challenger that appeared on the original pilot in 1956. The pilot was called Nothing But the Truth, and it was hosted by Mike Wallace. Now, I know you've got a lot to do, and I know that you'll soon be in the 1961 episodes very soon. But maybe there's some reason I can get you to post this one a little earlier than usual. There may be a celebrity birthday involved. I can tell you right now who was on the panel that night. Ralph Bellamy, Kitty Carlisle, Don Amici, and Betty White, I think. Now, Betty you can forget about. She already had her birthday earlier this month. So if you could check the birthdays of any of the others, or maybe Bud Collier's birthday, find a reason to get this posted early if you can, Gary, because that episode is in my favorites right now as it was posted on Buzzer Plus, but I prefer yours because you always find the ones that have better audio and visual clarity. So once you post your copy of that December 16, 1961 episode, I will replace the one currently in my favorites with yours, because I always trust in you, and I know that the people behind Buzzer have caused you great pain and great sorrow, and I don't want to cause any more of it. So please, Gary, December 16th, 1961, To Tell the Truth's 5th anniversary show. If you can get it posted early, fine. If you cannot, it's something worth waiting for. And I also want to say thank you to the What's My Line Facebook group and all the Facebook groups that I am on, especially Batman TV Show 1966, because earlier tonight my computer got scammed. There was this thing from Burger King about a lifetime pass, and all I had to do to get it was to share the post on Facebook to my timeline and share it with either 5 other groups or people. That was a big mistake. It was a scammy post, and I got rid of it in all the groups that I was in. And I thank God that these are very forgiving people, because in most Facebook groups, if you did something like that, they kick your butt out so much as look at your profile. But these people are great, and Facebook is a great community. So I have to say thank you to everyone there. And believe me, without your great support, you couldn't even help me here, because I've got Facebook pages that I maintain, and the action is hot and heavy right now. I mean, that notification bell has been ringing off the hook ever since this 16mm film of the Lost What's My Line episode has been playing. I mean, it has just been ringing like crazy. It reminds me very much of that hour tone that CBS used to play at the top of the hour in the 1960s. It was something that I heard a lot growing up when I watched shows on KCTV5 when I was growing up in Kansas City, you know. And it's a very ominous tone. But I tell you, it's really something. These people are really something, and I even posted a picture. As a matter of fact, it was on this night, Kitty Carlisle was a guest on What's My Line, along with future Star Trek star William Shatner. That, too, is another one of my favorite episodes that I will get back in my favorites very soon. So, once again, to Gary, to Vahan, to Sam, to everyone, thank you for finding this lost treasure, and I pray to God that you find more. Because television back in those days was mostly done live. And as I have found out, some commercials were not done live. There were some film, but most TV was live, and a lot of it was thought to be lost. But when I found out that you secured that 16mm film, I was pleased as punch to not only be a What's My Line fan, I was pleased as punch to be a lover of the internet. It can drive you crazy sometimes, but only if you let it. But I just want to say, you guys are incredible. And like Swingman would say, you're what keep me going. So keep on going, Gary and friends. Keep on doing what you do. And I will certainly get back to you. I'm telling you. That was a really great show tonight. And like I said, if you missed it, you can play it again right now. Give it all the views you can. Because it's a really wonderful episode. And I'm telling you, it is going to be the hit of the night. I just went into YouTube history and I found already 372 views. Can you believe it? Just that quick. It has been viewed 372 times. By this time tomorrow, I expect it to be in the 5-digit range. Because this is not just television history. This is not just broadcast history. This is American history, my friends. That's what it all boils down to. And that is something no one, not Fremantle, not Obama, not Clinton, not anyone can take it away from us. We did it, folks. And it just goes to show that good old-fashioned American ingenuity still wins out every time. I'm about to lose my voice. I've been sick the last few weeks. So I'm going to leave you with this thought. If you've got some old films lying around, or old videotapes, or anything like that, please dig them out. Look at them, look through them, because you never know. You might unearth the next great television legend. You might unearth a lost episode of another show. Until now, there had been nothing of celebrity time at all before this 16mm film was found and purchased off of eBay. Who knows? You might have something like, you might have you may have a tape or film of Ed Ames' tomahawk demonstration on the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson in living color. Or you might have one of the color episodes of you may be seeing on one of the color episodes of What's My Line from its final season. There's just no telling. Get it in. Sell it to eBay, because believe me, if nobody else wants it, Gary and his friends might. And they will share it with the world. So look through anything you got. And if you happen to find anything at all, I mean, hey, you just might be sitting in on another great moment in history. Well, that's all for now, so I'm going to sign off right here. Kenny Rocks, until next time, saying adios, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen, and thank you for being with us for a great moment in history. Good night, however you are.